Hey friends, it's Monica Schrader from the SchraderPage.com and the Schrader Page blog. I've had a couple requests to do a video explaining a little bit more about my Beyond Flipping Cards, creating a classroom of independent learners. So I thought I would go through just real quick some of the topics that are discussed in the table of contents. You have an introduction, which is a letter from me. We talk about my philosophy on having courage in the classroom. Pulling cards and impulse control, singing is learning, two paths, child labor of love, our chat chair, response to intervention, don't hide behind my back, stop in the name of the light, why do you have a sponge, going into battle, good habits versus bad habits, and 7 or 8. There's the basic introduction that you'll receive. We go through talking about courage, meaning doing what's right while others are doing wrong. We go into just explaining Beyond Flipping Cards or flipping cards in the classroom, how I use my OOPS book. And when I say how I use my OOPS book, that's to help train my students. One of the big misconceptions, I think, about behavior management is that it needs to go on all year long. And honestly and truly, if you've trained your students well enough in the beginning of the school year with tools such as an OOPS book or even flipping cards, you should not need to be doing that mid-year or the end of the year. They should have a good understanding of what is expected of them in the classroom. And that's what I spend a good part of my Beyond Flipping Cards here explaining, how I manage and train my students to run our classroom. It is a child-run classroom, and I am simply there to set up the boundaries and help facilitate things. If there are students that are still requiring things such as these stop signs and behavior reflections, these are the things that I'm using when I'm training my students. But if students are still using those types of things or needing them by January, then those are the students that need to go on a color-coded behavior plan, or they're the ones that need to stay on that plan. There's no need to hold your whole entire class up in that system. We talk about impulse control, about the movie Rudy, about the Notre Dame football player and the challenges that he faced in the movie, and how the team comes out and hits a sign as they leave. Learn like a champion is the sign that we use on our classroom instead of play like a champion today. So I have a learn like a champion sign that you will receive, and I also have a teach like a champion sign that you will receive. These are a couple of the singing to learning songs that we use, time tunes. There's a few more throughout the file. It talks about two paths. That's one of the ways that I train my students. You're either on the good path or the not so good path. You have to make the decision about what path you're on. Child labor of love. My students are working in my classroom every day. They have a job from day one. You get my prize pot coupons. Lots of great coupons for rewarding students. I talk you through my jobs. Like I said, my students work from day one. They run the classroom. It's not my job to be running those things. I have enough to do. These are my job signs. You get those as well. There's a job for every student in the classroom and a few extras. Another one of our songs, Singing to Learning Chant. I talk a little bit about the chat chair and how my classroom's organized up front. A little bit about response to intervention, something that we're doing in our school. Has nothing to do with toilet champs, but that happens to be the next thing in the video that goes on. Check your bodies is another chant that I use in my classroom to make sure that we're in good learning positions. My learning posters, having students go back and reflect on things that they worked on and learned in class. How my learning objectives board is put up. Don't hide behind my back. This usually comes into play about January, where students are feeling pretty comfortable about things. How I use my traffic light in the classroom is maybe a little different than what you've seen before. A portable traffic light. I used this a lot when I was working as a substitute. I would laminate these and put magnets on the back and carry them wherever I go. a song to manage that traffic light and the voice level in your classroom. Learning like a sponge. Why do I have a sponge mounted on my chalkboard? And going into battle without a sword. We talk about that all the time. If you don't have all of the directions, you cannot go in to battle. Poster that hangs in my classroom. If you practice nothing, you learn nothing. Check your sponge. Good habits versus bad habits. We talk about how we're in the hallway and you have to practice good habits. If you continue to practice bad habits, those are the ones that are going to stick. My rule of 7 and 8. If you're 7 years old, you pick up 7 things. If you're 8 years old, you pick up 8 things. Another chant that we sing in class, be on the floor, just another way to give their mouth something to do instead of talking, to keep them moving, to keep them learning. This is a Schrader original, sung to the tune of The Gambler. So I hope this gives you a little bit more information about what you're going to find in this file. It's just my philosophy for managing a child-led classroom where there's independent learners so that you can meet with groups. Students know what's expected of them. So I hope this explains a little bit more. Again, it's Monica Schrader from the SchraderPage.com, and this is Beyond Flipping Cards.